slipping out before work to see what's going on at Vineyard Sound. I'm here in Woods Hole. We're at the tail end of the west tide, which is an easy time to fish here in the spring. There's lots of juvenile squid in the area, and so to me this is the perfect time to fish topwater soft baits. I have the 10-inch original Hoagie. It's pink. It's rigged on my rod, ready to go. Similarly to how I fish any rip, how I'm going to fish here is I'm going to cast up tide, let the bait swing into the rip here, and you know, hopefully get a couple of nice topwater hits. And you know, perfect time. Woods Hole is best to be fished, you know, at either the tail ends of the tide or at the early stage of the tide. Also early morning or evening when there's less boat traffic. So if you get a situation where there's a relatively slack tide early in the morning or evening, that's the most ideal time to fish Woods Hole. As you can see, we have the place to ourselves. It's the very end of May, and you know, that's the time. So let's see what we can find here. So I'm in a 24 center console. Well, other than the cameraman filming, considering myself to be by myself. So I never leave the helm position when I'm fishing by myself in Woods Hole. There's all kinds of rocks you can hit. The tide swings here in little spots, so always err on the side of boat handling. In the late stages of the tide here, they tend to fall back in the rip, so that makes, oh, there he goes, a nice hit. We cracked the code on the slack tide. First we were fishing the bait slow, getting a lot of follows, but when we dropped the rod tip and sped up the retrieve, that's when the fish turned on, and we went from getting a follow every 2 or 3 casts to a hooked fish every cast. So once I dropped my rod tip and sped up the retrieve a little bit, we went from getting a fish every 2 or 3 casts to a fish every cast. The tide's starting to tail out here, so that means the action might slow down a little bit. But what I like about a slack tide is you might have to work a little more, but that's oftentimes where you get the big fish.